And we are live for Thursday night, week 15. How's it going, everyone? Sam Factor here. We got a banger of a game tonight. The Chargers playing against the Las Vegas Raiders. This game is in Las Vegas. We got Easton Stick going up against Aiden O'Connell. It's going to be an ugly one, guys. I'm not even going to joke about it tonight. We had a 30-point over-under last Thursday with the Patriots versus the Steelers. I was right about that one going over. We hit on Ezekiel Elliott in that game. There's really not too many decisions fantasy-wise in this game tonight. If you have Austin Ekeler, you need to start Austin Ekeler. We were on that last week on the Sunday Morning Live. People were over-panicking about Austin Ekeler, and he did come through with a solid performance last week. I'll pull up the game logs here in just a second on the YouTube live. We're live on TikTok. We're live on YouTube. It's week 15. It's the first week of the fantasy football playoffs in most leagues. I'm amped, man. I'm locked in. I'm in the playoffs in 5 out of my 7 high-stakes leagues. I'm feeling pretty good about where I'm at. I got a buy in one league as well. I have not too many difficult decisions. I also cashed a top 1,000 team in the Underdog Best Ball Mania contest that ranked in the 99.9th percentile and won me $1,000 before the playoffs even started. So you love to see that. Let me pull up the Austin Ekeler game logs here because we definitely hit the nail on the head on Sunday morning, not over panicking about Austin Ekeler. That definitely was the right call at the time. Tonight, I think it's an even easier call based on what we saw last week. But yeah, Austin Ekeler was the RB8 last week. He only played 50 snaps, 74% of snaps. He scored a rushing touchdown for the first time in a month, 10 carries, 51 yards. But the reason you have to start Austin Ekeler is because even if other running backs are worked in, other running backs were worked in. He only played around 70% of the snaps. It's the receiving role in the red zone role. What does Ekeler do? He turns in a rushing touchdown. He has 7 targets. He catches 5 of those. He brings those for 49 yards, finishes the week with 21 PPR fantasy points. Good matchup for him tonight. Not as great of a matchup as it was against the Denver Broncos, but still a pretty solid matchup here tonight for Ekeler. He's locked in as a top 10 running back option. Really not many guys you're going to start over Austin Ekeler. Davante Adams didn't practice that much this week because of an illness. He is going to go tonight. You do need to start him if you have him. He's been a little bit more boom bust than you would have liked throughout this season. But the target share has been there, guys, especially with Aiden O'Connell. The last time we saw Davante Adams go under a 22% target share was back in week 6. He's gone over 30% in 3 of his last 4 games. He's going to get about a third of the targets tonight for the Raiders, if not more. And this is a great spot for him against the Chargers. They've been bottom 3 against receivers all season. I got Steelers, Walter Picks in the chat here on TikTok, Komet or Schultz. Not a Thursday night question here, but I probably would go with Komet. Depends if Schultz plays. If Schultz plays on set, probably go Schultz. Start Devontae or Puka. Yeah, I'm playing Puka over Devontae pretty easily. We got Puka versus the Commanders. You got to be starting Puka and Cooper Kupp this week for sure. Ty Chandler versus Zamir White. To the battle of the backup running backs. Yeah, let's actually do that comparison here on the YouTube live. Ty Chandler versus Zamir White. I think I probably would go Yeah, it's Ty Chandler over Zamir White. I would go Ty Chandler over Zamir White. I do think that makes sense. Better matchup here for Ty Chandler. Better offensive projected game, too. This game is not projected to be very high scoring. Both guys are in similar spots. Alexander Madison is not going to play. Josh Jacobs is not going to play. Also, I think Amir Abdullah is in line to get a decent amount of the receiving work tonight. I'm not sure how many targets Zamir White will get. Ty Chandler is a capable receiving back. Sam, it's the beat-up bowl tonight. Yeah, it's a brutal game tonight here between the Chargers and the Raiders. All right, let's get to some of these comments from the YouTube live. We're live on TikTok. We're live on YouTube. As always, let me adjust here. I'm going to restart the TikTok live momentarily. I have a little bit of lag there on my end. Do I throw in Zamir or keep Pop Douglas? Yeah, I probably would go Zamir over Pop Douglas. Hey, Sam, happy playoffs. White, Keaton Mitchell, or Swift to rank them? Yeah, it's White. Then it's Swift, then it's Keaton Mitchell. I'd probably rank them in that order. You definitely need to be starting Rashid White, though. Hey, Sam, do you think I start Ekeler over Mixon/Pollard? I don't know if you can start him over Pollard. Pollard's receiving role has been really elite, too. Let's look at the running back rankings here. Man, look where Zeke is ranking in the app. heading into the playoffs. He ranks RB3 in the Walter Picks app right now. Austin Eckler versus Tony Pollard versus Mixon. Yeah, I think Pollard's the odd man out here. Man, Mixon hasn't had the best matchup here either, though. I honestly might bench Mixon. I think I would probably start Eckler and Pollard here, assuming this is a PPR league. Is Adams the start over Kupp / AJ? Nope, I would not start Devontae Adams over Cooper Kupp or AJ Brown. I would probably flex Adams over Mixon, but not over any of these other guys. I'm starting Zach Moss again this week. I've been starting him for 2 consecutive weeks. His usage has been so good. I think he needs to be started. It's another decent spot for him. Let me pull up the game log here. The peripheral numbers around Zach Moss, he ranks RB7 in the Walter Picks app. He gets the Steelers. The last week, guys, the Ezekiel Elliott was the running back 1 in fantasy football against the Pittsburgh Steelers. No running back had more fantasy points than Zeke last week. That's who Zach Moss gets. I feel like these are 2 pretty comparable players, too. Both guys in huge workloads because the starting running back is out in Mondre Stevenson and JT. Both guys are bigger, kind of slower backs, but can be involved in the pass game. We saw Zach Moss last week got a 21% target share. Like, this is a really one-to-one situation here in comparison to what Zeke has been doing. Zach Moss can do the same thing. Zach Moss could be the running back 1 in week 15. I would definitely not leave him on your bench. I would play Moss over Zeke. Actually, I don't know. That's actually pretty. I think I'd play Zeke over Moss after thinking through that one again. Zeke's role is, I think, even better than Moss's in the target category. Hope you're having a great week as well. Hope you're all having a fantastic, fantastic week. What's up, Sam? Hope you had a good day so far. I need this prop to guide me because I don't know what to choose for this game yet. So we'll get to the free player prop in a second. I'm going to restart the TikTok live. I'll be back in a second, TikTok. Let me just enter this here. The prop situation is definitely very tough. But I do have a prop for us tonight, Kylo. Of course, I have a prop for us tonight. We have been cashing the props all season, and we cashed again last week with the Rashee Rice prop. I do like that Rashee Rice prop line, by the way. I want to tell you on tonight's live, I do like it again this week. They didn't move the line very much, enough. They've moved it 1 yard. He's been over a 25% target share now 3 straight games. He set a new season high in snap percentage 3 straight games. Rashee Rice is going to hit that prop line again against the Pats. This week, the Pats have actually allowed at least one receiver to hit that line in like 10 straight games, as good as the Pats defense has been this season. Anyways, I do have a prop for us tonight. Never mind about Rashee Rice. Hunter Renfrow, over 2.5 receptions. I know this one feels a bit gross. I don't hate his yards line either, but I actually think I like the receptions line a decent amount here too. He's had at least 3 catches in 3 straight games. So we've seen Hunter Renfrow cash on this line in 3 consecutive games. And tonight he gets the Chargers. The Chargers have been brutally bad against receivers this season. I do think Hunter Renfrow will be out there around half the snaps like he has been for every game in the last month. Devontae Adams was dealing with an illness this week. Maybe his snaps get scaled back a little bit. Still think he's a far better fantasy start. Do not start Hunter Renfrow in fantasy. To be clear here, look at all this red. He has not had a 10-point game all year. But I do think he will get at least 3 catches tonight. I do think he will go over 30 yards tonight as well. So I do like both the Renfrow props tonight. But my official prop of the night is over 2.5 receptions for Hunter Renfrow. We are 23-9 on the free player props this season. Absolutely ridiculous. Chargers defense is a good play, yes. Who TF is Hunter Renfrow? That's a hilarious comment. Pick 2, Adams, Pittman, Swift, OBJ, Higgins, or Downs. Yes, you absolutely cannot be benching Michael Pittman. We're in the fantasy football playoffs here. You need to be starting the guy who has been one of the most consistent assets in fantasy football this season. He's a top 10 wide receiver this week, Michael Pittman. He has really not had a bad game all year. He's had 1 game under 10 fantasy points in PPR leagues. Unreal stuff there from Michael Pittman. You got to be starting him. I think I would go Adams over Swift. I think I would play Adams over OBJ. I definitely would be playing Adams over Higgins and Downs. So yeah, I think it's the first 2 here. Chargers defense, not bad for sure. Is Josh Jacobs playing today? Nope. Josh Jacobs is out tonight. Justin Herbert is out tonight. So we're going to see Easton Stick versus Aiden O'Connell. It's going to be gross. It's going to be a gross one. Yo, Sam, I'm in a predicament. Yo, I got you. Pick one for flex. Garrett Wilson, Jaden Reed, Rashee Rice, or Etienne. I was thinking Wilson, but wanted to see your opinion. Yeah, I kind of think you got to go Garrett Wilson here. Etienne's in the cards too, as is Rashee Rice. I don't think I would even consider Jaden Reed, even though I do like the matchup for Jaden Reed this week. Like there's a ceiling there. I don't think he's on the same level as some of these other options that you have. I fear Rashee Rice. Oh man, Rashee Rice is going to project better than Garrett Wilson Travis Etienne is RB6. Wow, this week too against the Ravens. I think the target share for Etienne has been really good. Yeah. He's got at least 4 targets in most of his games. He's got 3 straight games with 4 catches. Back-to-back games with 17 points. The other thing with this Jaguars-Ravens game, there is some early weather here to be aware of that could make the Jaguars run a bit more against the Ravens. I do like Rashee Rice a lot too. This is a very difficult decision. I'm going to punt this decision to Sunday morning, but for now, I think I would go Travis Etienne here in a PPR league. And if it's not PPR, it even makes me lean Etienne even more. Etienne he was dealing with a slight injury 2 weeks ago where he only played 64% of the snaps. It seems like he's over that though. 77% of the snaps last week. I don't think you could be benching Travis Etienne. All right, happy Thursday, Sam. Start 2 of White, Najee, Aaron Jones, and Ty Chandler. You can't be starting Najee Harris over. I'm starting Najee Harris over Zamir White pretty easily, and you definitely can't be trusting Aaron Jones. This is close between White, Najee, and Ty Chandler. There's no way we can trust Aaron Jones. I don't even know if Aaron Jones is going to play. Even if he plays, it's hard to see a huge role for Aaron Jones. Though I will take a second to at least highlight that A.J. Dillon might miss this week. Actually, he broke a finger or something in his hand, and he's up in the air now too. There's a chance he's going to be able to play through that. So there's a chance that I could change my tune on this one a little bit by Sunday morning or by Saturday morning. I think I will go live Saturday morning and Sunday morning this week, by the way. 1 running back, 1 flex, Mixon, Breece, Achane, DK, or Devontae Smith. Yeah, you can't bench Breece, and then I think you go Breece and Devontae Smith there. All right, yeah, this one's Ty Chandler, and yeah, I do like Zamir White more than Najee too. So you start Zamir White tonight. Start Zamir White if you're starting him over Aaron Jones. Start Zamir White if you're starting him over Najee Harris. Zamir White is just a purely workload story here tonight. Zamir White has never seen a big workload, so he's definitely a question mark, but there's no Josh Jacobs. And Amir Abdullah is not good. He is not good. He is probably going to get some of the pass game work. It does lower the ceiling a bit here for Zamir White, that he's not going to like just step into this Josh Jacobs role, automatically. But Zamir White's probably going to get around 15 carries tonight. And the Chargers have not been very good against running backs. He probably will be the goal line back. So yeah, you got to start Zamir White in plenty of spots. He's probably going to get 15 to 20 touches. That does justify starting him over guys like Najee Harris and over guys like Aaron Jones, who are pretty big question marks. James Conner, that one's pretty close. Let's see, Zamir White versus James Conner. I think I'd probably go James Conner. He gets a tough matchup though against the 49ers this week. Let's do this comparison here. I think I would go Zamir White. Yep, I would go Zamir White over James Conner. It's close. But yeah, the 49ers have been the 3rd best defense against running backs this season. I just traded Eckler and Adams. That sounds terrible. Puka, Moss, Olave, Ty Chandler. Walter said Puka and Chandler. Your opinion? I would definitely play Moss over Ty Chandler. I don't think it's that close, honestly. I think Moss over Ty Chandler is a pretty easy decision for me to make. Zach Moss' usage is going to be better than Ty Chandler. Zach Moss gets the Steelers this week. The Steelers just let up the #1 running back performance last week. No running back scored more points than Zeke did last week against the Steelers. He had a huge receiving day. Zach Moss is also coming off a 21% target share. I'm playing Zach Moss over Ty Chandler, I think, pretty easily. Walter, actually, I'm seeing in the app right now, PPR, slight edge towards Moss. So maybe we updated the projection since you did that comparison. Shout out to everyone in this live stream, guys. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. I'm locked in for the playoffs, guys. We're going to get to all of the start sits in this live stream. It's easier, too, for me to get to almost all of the start sits in the playoffs because, guys, there's not that many people left. Half of all people are out of your fantasy leagues. So shout out to you if you're still in. That's going to be the case every single week. Half of all people at this point are getting eliminated. Man, it's the best time of year. Kyler or Browning. Oh, gosh, yeah, there's some brutal quarterback decisions this week. I'm going back and forth. Do I start Jake Browning or Patrick Mahomes? It's a literal decision that I think is pretty difficult this week with Mahomes playing the Pats. I think I probably would go Kyler over Browning in that decision. It's super close, though, honestly. I'm going to punt that one to Sunday morning. Zamir or Thielen? Yeah, we can't be starting Thielen at this stage of the game. I'm definitely going Zamir over Thielen. Hey, Sam, happy playoffs. Happy playoffs to you, Casey, in the lab. Zamir, Keaton Mitchell, or Swift, rank them. Yeah, I think I'd rank these guys in probably reverse order. I definitely would play Swift over Zamir. I think I would play Keaton Mitchell over Zamir also. Zamir probably will get, at least has a good chance to get more touches than Keaton Mitchell, but Keaton Mitchell's way more electric. Yeah, well, Walter has these guys actually pretty close, but yeah, agrees with me here. It's Swift, then it's Zamir, then it's Keaton Mitchell. I play Ty Chandler over Zamir White and Keaton Mitchell as well. The Raiders defense and Chargers defense are startable tonight. I actually think I like the Raiders defense more than the Chargers defense. Guys, Easton Stick is not good. He is not good. I will be very surprised if Easton Stick plays well tonight. Easton Stick has never played a game in the NFL. His only game action in his NFL career. This guy is not young. This is not a young backup QB we're talking about here with Easton Stick. Easton Stick is 28 years old. He was drafted back in the 5th round of 2019 from North Dakota State. He did well in college, but he was at North Dakota State. He has some speed, 89th percentile speed for Easton Stick, so maybe we'll see him on the run a bit today. But his only game action ever, before last week, guys, Easton Stick had 1 passing attempt in his career. He's been a career-long backup quarterback. I do not expect him to do much at all tonight. I think that's really bad news for Josh Palmer. There's no Keenan Allen tonight, too. Keenan Allen is out. Josh Jacobs is out. Justin Herbert is out. So we got a brutal game tonight. And even though Keenan Allen's out, you really can't start any of these Chargers receivers in fantasy. There's no starting Josh Palmer. There's no starting Quentin Johnston. There's no starting Gerald Everett. And the reason is Easton Stick probably isn't the guy. He's probably not very good. All right. Henry or Jefferson? Oh, man, Matt, this is tough. I think I would go Jefferson here, especially if this is PPR. Well, Walter still has ranked 3 this week. He obviously came back, got hurt immediately last week. I'm going Jefferson over Henry. I do like the spot here for Henry, though, this week. And then he gets the Texans again 2 weeks from now. T. Higgins, Zamir White, or Chris Godwin? I definitely would play Zamir White over T. Higgins, who really has done nothing in back-to-back games now since he's been back. 2 catches, 72 yards. I guess that's not nothing, but he's been under 10 points. He's clearly not even close to the target share in the role that Jamar Chase has. And then we got Godwin. I was right. I was on the money with the squeaky wheel narrative with Godwin last week. His complaining did lead to more targets, but it didn't lead to that many more fantasy points. I was wrong about that part of the Chris Godwin situation. He saw his largest target share of the season, guys. Chris Godwin complaining and his girlfriend/wife complaining about his targets led to more targets. And it did not lead to very much more success for the Buccaneers offense. I don't know if we can count on this again. I'm kind of off the squeaky wheel narrative this week. 38% target share. Wow, for Chris Godwin last week. But yeah, I would go Zamir White over Chris Godwin. I would go Zamir White over T. Higgins as well. I do think the floor is significantly higher for Zamir. Zamir White versus Jerome Ford. Now, that's a much more difficult decision. Let's pull up Jerome Ford. I think I would go Jerome Ford. Yeah, it's Jerome Ford over Zamir White. Jerome gets the Bears. Arguably a better matchup here than the Chargers, at least over the course of the season. I'm cool with that one. I think sorry if I pulled a comment up and didn't answer it, because I'm going to get to every start sit. We're locked in for the playoffs. Like I'm not messing around in the fantasy playoffs. I'm going to try to get to every single player, every single start sit. I will, of course, prioritize the Thursday night start sits because it's a Thursday night here between the Chargers and the Raiders. But tonight's start sits, guys, they're pretty straightforward. You're starting Eckler, you're starting Adams. In a lot of spots, you got to start Zamir White. He's probably going to get 15 to 20 touches. A pretty good matchup for him here. Everyone else, bench. Do not consider starting a single other player other than those 3 guys. It's one of the most straightforward Thursday nights of the season, which is nice on the first game of the fantasy playoffs. Okay. So you've been DMing on Instagram about this one. Shout out to Owen, who handles our Instagram DMs. We got Stroud or Lawrence if both play. Stroud's not going to play. If he plays, I'd be pretty surprised. Let me read the latest report about Stroud. I guess they are still technically in the playoff race. I keep thinking they're not. The Texans aren't in the playoff race, but they are. They are technically in the playoff race. Let's leave the latest news here. Yeah, DNP on Thursday. I don't think he's going to play. And if he plays, I don't think Nico Collins is going to play. He might play too, but without Tank Dell too, and we'll see if Dalton Schultz is able to suit up. We got the Ravens here, though, for Trevor Lawrence. Like, I think there's probably better options than both of these guys on your waiver wire. Jordan Love, for example, or Stafford. If either of these 2 guys are available, I'd start both these guys over Stafford. Brock Purdy, too. But, yeah, I think it's Lawrence over Stroud this week. I don't think Stroud's going to play. And Stroud gets a matchup with the Titans. Oh, man. Yeah, actually, if Stroud plays, you got to play Stroud. If Stroud plays, you play Stroud. But I don't think Stroud's going to play. All right, Kincaid, Taysom, or Likely. I'm completely off of Kincaid. I think Kincaid is a walking bust right now in fantasy football. He's had a great season, but with Dawson Knox back, I'm pretty concerned for the floor of Dalton Kincaid. I still think the ceiling is pretty high for Dalton Kincaid. Like the ceiling is one of the elite ceilings at the tight end position, but his floor is close to 0 points with Dawson Knox back. Kincaid's also dealing with an injury of his own. Walter's going to say Kincaid. Yeah, I think I would play Likely and Taysom over Kincaid. I think I disagree with Walter on this one. We'll see if Taysom plays. I think I'd go Taysom. We'll see if he plays. He didn't play last week, especially if this isn't a PPR league. Taysom's kind of OP in that one. You taking Pollard and Saquon over Henry? Yeah, I would do that. I would take Pollard and Saquon over Henry. Should I start Devontae instead of Tyreek just in case he doesn't play? No, Tyreek's probably going to play. Tyreek went back in the game. It was a very weird Monday night game there between the Dolphins and the Titans. I was actually at that game. Crazy ending to that game. But yeah, I think Tyreek will play this week. I think you can bet on him playing. I don't think you should keep him on your bench. Kyler or Baker? Yeah, I'd go Kyler over Baker. Need help. Sit one. Chase, Diggs, Barkley. Yeah, you probably bench Saquon there. Zamir, Javonte Williams. I'm going Javonte over Zamir. Happy fantasy football playoffs to you, Hudson. Happy fantasy football playoffs to everyone in this live stream. We are locked in. It's Thursday night. We got a banger of a football game on our TV screens tonight. Not actually, but at least it's some football. We got the Chargers versus the Raiders. Easton Stick versus Aiden O'Connell. This has to be, in my opinion, the most straightforward fantasy football start-sit Thursday night of the entire season, and it comes on, in most leagues, the first game of the fantasy football playoffs. Start Austin Eckler, start Devontae Adams, and in a lot of situations, we can start Zamir White. There's no Josh Jacobs tonight. There's no Keenan Allen tonight. There's no Justin Herbert tonight, which is why the Raiders are 3-point favorites. You got a 3-point favorite at home, a running back who's going to see at least 15 touches without Josh Jacobs in the game. There's no guarantee Zamir White is good. We've never seen him get a large workload, but it is a good matchup here for Zamir White. At least, I don't think we've seen Zamir White even be efficient like a single time this season. We've seen 3 games where his yards per carry was at least 5, but we have not seen a game where he had more than 4 carries. We're in uncharted territory here with Zamir White. I do think, though, volume-based running back 3, high-end running back 3, back-end running back 2, which does make him startable in a lot of leagues, in a lot of situations. Every other player do not start tonight. Even if you're in the deepest of leagues, guys, be very careful with Josh Palmer, very careful with Quentin Johnston tonight. I do not think Easton Stick is it. Easton Stick is 28 years old. He was drafted back in 2019. Before last week, he had 1 career passing attempt in the NFL. Falcons defense or Raiders defense? Yeah, this is a Sunday morning question here. Sorry, actually, the Raiders play tonight. I think I would go Raiders. I do like the Raiders against Easton Stick tonight. Let's make this money, Sam. Sunday was a good day. You're doing a good job, Mark. Let's go, man. We're cashing the player props on these lives this season. I mean, really, this is about as good of accuracy as I could have possibly hoped for this season with the free player props. And I do have another free player prop for us tonight. It is Hunter Renfrow. This one's a little gross, but you got to bear with me here. Hunter Renfrow over 2.5 receptions. Hunter Renfrow has at least 3 catches now in 3 straight games. He's going to play around half the snaps against a Charger secondary that has been absolutely terrible this season. The Chargers are letting multiple receivers go past this line. This is a very low line, 2.5 receptions. He's at like 23.5 receiving yards. I like the yards line too. That one can be found in the Walter Picks app, along with 8 other props that are posted tonight in the Walter Picks app. Check that one out if you haven't yet. As always, the best way you guys can possibly support me is checking out the Walter Picks app. It's free. Comes with a free 7-day trial for all the premium features too. We've been cashing player props left and right in the Walter Picks app again this season. But yeah, Renfrow over 2.5 receptions in a really, really good matchup. Best matchup, arguably, of the season here for the Raiders passing attack. They played back in week 4. Renfrow, 4 targets. He only got 2 of those ones. I think that was a different quarterback situation, though. I do like Renfrow to get 3 catches tonight. All right, let's get back to some of these start sits. I want to get to as many as I can tonight for sure, especially the Thursday night start sits. All right, I got you. You skipped mine. Hudson, I got you. Rice, Nakua, Cooks, Beckham, McLaurin, and Connor or Warren. Yeah, I'm going James Conner over Jalen Warren. It does seem like the Steelers are committed to Najee Harris being the lead back again. I do really like these first 2 receivers a lot. I think I would go with these first 2. McLaurin definitely has an interesting ceiling this week, but he had 0 points last time out. It's really tough to trust McLaurin fully. And I do really like Rashee Rice and Nakua, 2 rookies. Yeah, I'd start both those guys. What's up, Sam? Just joined. Would you start Zamir White over Hall or Hop? Nope, Ricky. We're not doing that. I think Zamir White is a start tonight, but not over Breece Hall. Breece Hall has been on an insane tear in the receiving game. So I'm assuming this is a PPR league because he didn't say. I almost always assume we're talking PPR. But Breece, the last time he played the Dolphins, which was just 3 weeks ago, 7 catches for Breece Hall. He's followed it up with 6 catches and 8 catches. He's had a ridiculous amount of receptions in the last month, and now he gets another spot here against the Dolphins. Jets are going to be losing. He's the second best receiver on the Jets after Garrett Wilson. And then DeAndre Hopkins has 24 targets in his last 2 games, back-to-back games with huge target shares for D-Hop. Definitely got to start him over Zamir White too. Guys that I would start Zamir White over. There is a bunch of guys I would start Zamir White over tonight. Neither of those 2 guys are them. I would start Zamir White over guys like I would start him over James Conner, who gets the 49ers. I'd start him over Najee Harris. I agree with that one. I'd start him over Clyde. I'd start him over Aaron Jones, who's a question mark this week. There is a chance that ends up being a bad call if A.J. Dillon doesn't end up going. But I think Zamir White is a relatively high floor, low ceiling option. I'm not going to start Zamir White over Ezekiel Elliott. Absolutely not. Zeke needs to be started in 100% of leagues. All right, playoff time, Sam. Need 1 flex for Happy PR. Javonte, Ford, or OBJ. Yeah, so all 3 of these guys are in play. Happy PR definitely makes me like OBJ a little bit less than I would in PPR leagues. I think the answer here is going to be Javonte over Jerome Ford, but I feel like Jerome Ford also probably gets a little bit of a boost because this is half PPR. Let me change the app to half PPR settings here for this comparison. Yes, Javonte here against the Lions. This game should be high scoring. Javonte has been really consistent as well. Good spot here for Odell. Also, the Ravens game projected to have a little bit of scary weather. I like both defenses tonight, the Chargers and the Raiders, but I also like the Raiders more than the Chargers. I have more confidence that Easton Stick is bad than I do that Aiden O'Connell is bad, but they're both probably bad. I'm okay going with the Chargers defense here. Sam, thanks as always for the help getting to the playoffs. Matt, I'm happy to hear that I helped you get there, but Matt, you were the one, man, that got there. So shout out to you for tuning into these lives, and good job making the playoffs. So we got T-Law or Kyler here. Trevor Lawrence has been balling, man. Trevor Lawrence started the season so bad that he was on the waiver wire in I would say the vast majority of leagues. He didn't have a game over 20 points until week 11, and then he rips off 4 straight games over 20 points for Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he is really finding his groove at this point of the season. Man, 50 passing attempts last week too against the Browns. Now he gets the Ravens. I will say, though, this Ravens-Jaguars game, it does have some concerning weather right now. We're seeing like 20 to 25 mile an hour sustained winds with wind gusts up to 30 miles an hour. Maybe some rain too. So Sunday morning, I could have a different vibe on Trevor Lawrence this week, especially against a good Ravens defense. The Ravens' run defense, though, is better than their pass defense. And then Kyler Murray against the 49ers. He's a big underdog this week. At least you get the rushing with him. I think I would lean Kyler right now. We'll see what the weather report ends up saying. Super close call. Both playing top 3 defenses according to the rankings in the Walter Picks app. But yeah, I think I lean Kyler just because of the rushing. Smash that like button. Yeah, guys, hit the like button if you're watching live on YouTube. Smash the follow button if you're watching live on TikTok. Steelers or Browns defense to start? Yeah, the Browns defense is dealing with all sorts of injuries. I think I'm okay going Steelers defense there. Sam, I got the app 2 years ago. Won championship last year, in playoffs in both leagues this year. Thanks, brother. Ryan, shout out to you, man. Thanks for tuning into the live tonight, and shout out for trying out the app. And I'm telling you, as fun as it is to win your fantasy football championship, it is more than 2 times as fun to go back to back in your fantasy football league championship. There is no more fulfilling feeling than back-to-back championships in a fantasy football league. All right, what's up, Sam? Thanks, man. I have a few questions for QB, Stroud, Geno Smith, or Browning. If Stroud plays, I think you got to go Stroud. If Stroud doesn't play, I think you go Browning here. And then pick 3, Collins, Adams, Smitty, Olave, Kupp, or Elliott. Yes, you got some really good options here. You absolutely are starting Cooper Kupp and Ezekiel Elliott this week. I think both those guys, locked-in starters. There's not going to be a league, I don't think, or a situation where I'm telling you to bench Zeke. Zeke was the running back 1 last week, guys. Zeke, the role for Zeke right now is almost unmatched. Him and Zach Moss have the best running back roles in the league. It's him, Zach Moss, and Christian McCaffrey. Zeke played 91% of snaps last week, 22 carries, 8 targets. Now he's a big underdog versus the Chiefs. Start Zeke, man. The floor is so good, and he's going to get the goal line carries here for the Pats too if they can get there. You got to be starting Zeke, in my opinion, in all situations. Like I'm seeing a question here in the TikTok. Start Austin Eckler, Tony Pollard, Saquon. I would start Zeke over all 3 of those guys. But I would start Eckler and Pollard over Saquon. I would go Eckler, Pollard, then Saquon. All right, we got back to this question. So start Zeke, start Kupp. You got one more to choose from here. I think it's between Adam, Smitty, and Olave. I don't think Collins is going to play. God, let's do this between Adams and I think it's actually between Adams and Devontae Smith. DeVonta Smith's been balling of late. I do like the matchup for DeVonta Smith this week too. Walter likes it as well. Yeah, it's DeVonta Smith here. Oh man, this one's close. Good matchup, obviously, for Davante Adams tonight. I'm cool with it though. I'm going DeVonta Smith over Davante Adams. Devonta Smith over Davante Adams. I think that makes sense. But yeah, you're definitely starting Cooper Kupp and Zeke here over Adams as well. All right. Shout out to everybody in this live. We're just getting started. I think this is some of the most clear start sit decisions we've had in a Thursday night game all season. You want to start Davante Adams. We're not going to start him over Zeke. We're not going to start him over Cooper Kupp. We're not going to start him over DeVonta Smith. But in most spots, we're going to start him. We want to start Austin Ekeler tonight as well, especially in PPR leagues. He could easily lead the Chargers in receiving tonight. It was dump off after dump off after dump off. When Easton Stick came in last week, don't be surprised if we see more of that tonight against the bad Raiders defense. Zamir White, he's in play, but you're not going to feel great starting him. Like we got a Zamir White start sit here between my opponent blocked me from Ty Chandler and Keaton Yaman, blocking the waiver wire playoffs. This is where we're at, man, in the season. I'm not starting Abdullah over Zamir White. I'm not starting Kareem Hunt over Zamir White. Start Zamir White. Zamir White is going to easily get more touches than both these guys. Abdullah might get a better receiving role, but Zamir White's going to be getting the goal line carries almost definitely. Yeah, in projected to win too, it just makes me want to play it safe even more, which with Zamir White. So yeah, go Zamir White here over Amir Abdullah, over Kareem Hunt. You could do much worse than Zamir White. I would start Zamir White over Jalen Warren. Yup. Love your content, man. Thanks, man. Pick 3, Adams, DJ Moore, Pittman, JJ. Yeah, so you got to be starting Pittman and Justin Jefferson and DJ Moore too. I think I would bench Davante Adams here for DJ Moore, Pittman, and Justin Jefferson. It's definitely close, but I refuse to bench Pittman. I refuse to bench Justin Jefferson. I kind of refuse to bench DJ Moore too with how good he's been. DJ Moore's in an interesting spot here too. Like on paper, Adams is going to project better than DJ Moore on paper here, but DJ Moore gets an interesting matchup against, this is half PPR. Let me switch to PPR. Not sure that's going to change this comparison much on the YouTube live. We're comparing Adams and DJ Moore right now on the YouTube live. But on paper, DJ Moore gets a matchup against the Browns. The Browns have been the 3rd best defense against receivers. The Browns, they'll also play man coverage at one of the highest rates in the entire NFL. DJ Moore has destroyed man coverage this season. He's getting targeted on over like a third of his routes against man coverage this year with Justin Fields playing. I was looking at some of this man versus zone data literally like a few hours ago. And yeah, DJ Moore definitely popped in that analysis. I think I would go DJ Moore over Davante Adams. It's a super close call, though, for sure. Zamir White or Zach Moss in full PPR. Yeah, Zach Moss pretty easily. Over Zamir White. All right, Achane Flowers or Noah Brown. Unclear if Achane's going to play this week. He picked up a toe injury, I think they said it was. We'll see if CJ Stroud plays too. It's tough to answer this one tonight. I think I would punt this one to Sunday, but right now it's Zay Flowers. Is Chargers defense a top defense this week, or is a team like Atlanta in Green Bay a better option? Yeah, so we got the Chargers defense against Aiden O'Connell tonight. I actually like the Raiders defense more than the Chargers defense tonight. First of all, the Chargers defense has been terrible this season, so there's no way around that. All right, you mentioned Atlanta here. The Falcons get a matchup this week against the Panthers. I do like the Falcons defense more than the Chargers. The Packers get a spot here against the Buccaneers. I don't like them as much as the other two. I would go Atlanta, then Chargers, then Green Bay. But I would probably rank the Raiders up there right next to Atlanta, maybe ahead of Atlanta. I do think the Raiders defense is going to be a problem here tonight for Easton Stick. Easton Stick is almost definitely bad. And even if he's not bad, no Keenan Allen tonight. I like the Raiders defense a lot tonight. All right, Puka, DeVonta Smith, Davante Adams, Achane, and James Cook. Thanks, and happy holidays. Happy holidays to you. Shout out to everybody, guys, in this live stream. Seriously, appreciate you all so much. I look forward to these lives. I can't believe we're in the fantasy football playoffs, but I'm amped, man. It was all season to get here, but now none of that matters. It's 1 week at a time. It's all about winning this week now in the fantasy football playoffs. Every small decision counts here at this point of the season. All right, we got Puka, DeVonta Smith, Davante Adams, Achane. Yeah, it's the first 3. So the first 3 for sure. James Cook is in play. You can't bank on Achane with the toe injury, and most are playing more than him last week. But yeah, I think it's the first 3, especially if this is a PPR league. James Cook does have a tough matchup here against the Cowboys. Everett replacement. Yeah, so there's tons of Everett replacements out there, I think. Let's go through the tight end rankings here. I would start Isaiah Likely over him. I would go Cole Kmet and Taysom Hill over him too. Walter has Everett ahead of those guys. I would even be fine with Cade Otton and Kyle Pitts ahead of him as well. Even Logan Thomas. I think is in play. Pat Freiermuth, I think, is in play. I really don't trust Everett at all tonight. CEH or JSN? Yes, JSN here against the Eagles. It is a good matchup here for Jackson Smith and Jigba against Philadelphia. Raiders defense. Yeah, the Raiders defense is definitely in play tonight. Start Montgomery or Henry? Oh, man, I think it's Derrick Henry. Both have good matchups this week for sure. The numbers for Derrick Henry versus the Texans just historically are mind-boggling. It's hard to care too much about the historical numbers, though, there. The Texans' run defense, guys, in the past seasons has been so bad. They've been the worst run defense like for 3 straight years before this year. They haven't been great this season either. It's close, man, between Derrick Henry and David Montgomery. Monty gets the Broncos. The Texans were just destroyed by Breece Hall, but that was mostly through the air. We haven't seen a 100-yard rushing performance against the Texans all season. I think it's Monty, man. I think it's Monty over D. Henry, actually. I'm looking at these numbers a little bit more. All right, we got Zamir White, Dalton Kincaid, or Deontay Johnson, 2 flex, half PPR. Bench Kincaid. Benching Kincaid here. I think Kincaid versus Deontay is close. Zamir White definitely better than both these options, especially in half PPR. But yeah, with Dawson Knox playing, I really don't want to start Kincaid. Everett or Kincaid help. Here we are in a spot where I probably would start Kincaid. I would start Kincaid over Everett. Yeah, I'm nervous about Kincaid because of the injury and because Dawson Knox is playing now. Thursday night football question. I got you, James. Shout out to being a TikTok Live subscriber too. Do I play Deontay Foreman or Zamir White? Yeah, so I think the answer here is Zamir White. Foreman was the clear lead back, though, in his first game back for the Bears. He gets the Browns this week, though, and they have been really, really good against the run. And Foreman had 11 carries. He did have 2 catches. He had 1 big catch, too. I think he had 22 receiving yards. It's Zamir White. It's Zamir White. Much, much, much better matchup here for Zamir White than for Deontay Foreman. The Browns have ranked middle of the pack. Chargers have been a bottom defense against running backs this season. They've been horrible against receivers. Do I start Raiders defense? Yes, start the Raiders defense. I'm playing Evan Ingram over Taysom. Ingram's been on an absolute tear. Saints, Falcons defense. Yeah, the Saints defense, I think, is the number 1 defense this week. I think they're the number 1 defense this week. I don't think there's a defense I'd rather play than the Saints defense. They get the Green Bay Packers, the New York Giants this week. They're 6-point favorites. I think the Saints are going to get 5+ sacks in this game. The Giants offensive line has been terrible all season. I do like the Raiders defense tonight also against Easton Stick. But yeah, I think I probably would go Saints defense. Y'all realize these are pre-recorded and not actually live, right, Billy? That would be impossible. You know how many start sits I answer during this live stream? How am I pre-recording start sit and questions? It just doesn't make sense. Zamir White or Amari Cooper? Oh man, I think you got to go Amari there over Zamir White. Zamir White is about as ugly of a start as you could find in the fantasy playoffs. Like, he's going to get 15 touches, but are we going to be that surprised when Zamir White finishes with 50 yards and no touchdowns? Like, wouldn't be that shocking. You got to start guys like Amari Cooper over him. You got to start guys like Austin Eckler over him as well. Drake London, I'm fine starting him over Zamir White. Also seeing that one here in the YouTube live. Start Olave or Henry in the flex. Yeah, I think it's Olave over Henry in the flex. Hey, Sam, need help against a stacked team. Start K9, Eckler, James Conner, Breece. So yeah, this is Eckler and Breece. Especially if you're playing a stacked team, you got to give yourself a chance with the guys that have the most receiving upside, and that's definitely Eckler and Breece. Thursday night question, pick 2, Zamir, McBride, Brian Robinson, questionable. I'm shocked that Brian Robinson is even practicing. It does seem like he's got a chance to play. I think you got to play Zamir White in this spot, though, because there's a good chance Brian Robinson doesn't end up playing. Doesn't practice on Wednesday, actually. Wow, hurt himself in the second quarter last week. Yeah, he's not even practicing. You got to play Zamir White. And then if Brian Robinson plays, you play him over McBride. If he doesn't play, though, you got to go McBride here. O'Connell, Goff, or Browning? Yeah, definitely not O'Connell here. Definitely not. I'm not starting O'Connell. I think the answer here is probably Browning over Goff. Let's see. Yeah, it's Browning. It's Browning over Goff. I'm sorry if you guys can hear the chaos in the background right now. Do you guys hear that on the YouTube Live or TikTok Live? Can you hear the background noise right now? Adams or Rashad White at flex? Yeah, I think I'd go Rashad over Adams. Yeah, I'm starting Zeke over Saquon. I'm starting Zeke over basically everybody. I'm starting Zeke over Pollard too, yep. I would go Pollard over Saquon, though. Yeah, you guys can hear that? What does it sound like to you? Hey, and thanks for doing this. What's the best two out of Devonta Smith, Devonta Adams, and Puka? Oh, man, I think it's Devonta and Puka. I think I'd bench Devonta Adams. I'm playing I already did this one. Devonta Smith versus Devonta Adams. I'm playing Devonta Smith over Devonta Adams. I think I'd go Puka over Devonta Adams too. This one's probably a bit closer. Walters has Adams. I really like the matchup here for Puka more than I like the matchup even for Adams tonight versus the Chargers. Yeah, play the Raiders defense over the Browns defense. The Raiders defense over the Browns defense for sure. Zamir White for Singletary. Singletary's coming off a rough game, if I recall. It's Zamir White. It's Zamir White over Singletary. Tough matchup here, too, for Singletary. Yeah, he only played 57% of the snaps. He's losing work to Dameon Pierce again. I had a question, though. Who is all good, Billy? Who should you start? Running back to Monty or Ellie? Yeah, I go Zeke over Monty for sure. You got to start Zeke, guys. There's no way around it. You got to be starting Ezekiel Elliott. Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me, too, the WW3. Let me look outside 1 second. It literally might be World War III outside. Like it's either fireworks or World War III. It's one or the other. I don't know which one it is. Obviously, I hope it's the fireworks, but these days I'm not so sure. Guess I got to start Zamir. Achane isn't practicing. Jones pisses me off. Jalen Warren is too volatile. Yeah, I would definitely start Zamir White over Jones and Jalen Warren. Over Achane, though, oh, man, it's such a tough spot to be in with Achane not practicing. It's a tough call. But because you have other decent options here, Jonathan, I think I would not start Zamir White tonight. I think I would hold out hope for Achane, start Achane if he plays. And if he doesn't play, at least you have Jalen Warren to fall back on, and then maybe Aaron Jones will play. Maybe, too, there's a chance that A.J. Dillon doesn't play this week, too. So, hey. Howell or Fields? Yeah. Howell's in kind of a good spot this week. I think you got to go Fields, though, over Howell. It's got to be fireworks, guys. It's got to be fireworks outside. I don't know why there's fireworks outside. But yeah, it's Fields. Javonte Williams or Monty? I'd go Javonte Williams over Monty. I think James Cook versus Monty's close. I'd probably go James Cook. Myers or Marquise Brown? First Jacoby Myers question I've seen all night. It's Marquise Brown. Over Myers. I am rooting for Jacoby Myers, though. I have him on like half of my best ball teams that are in the playoffs. Zamir White or Ty Chandler? Yeah, I'm going Ty Chandler over Zamir White because I think the receiving role will be better for Ty Chandler. And I also think just the game environment. I think the Vikings game is much more likely to be high scoring than this game tonight between the Raiders and the Chargers. That's good for Ty Chandler. It's bad for Zamir White. This is wild. It's definitely fireworks. I think I got to go watch these fireworks rather than battle through them. Jay Jettas or Waddle? Yes, Jefferson. I'm not benching Jefferson. I'm playing Hunter Henry over Myers. They get active. We are towards the end of this live. Anyways, all right, it did just stop. What's up, Sam? How do we feel about Eckler or Adams tonight? Yeah, I would go Eckler over Adams. I like both of them tonight, though, for sure. Zeke or White? Definitely go Zeke over White. Not even close. Josh Jacobs is not playing tonight. No Josh Jacobs tonight. No Justin Herbert tonight. No Keenan Allen tonight either. Another question, Sam. Would you ever consider streaming a D over Niners defense depending on the matchup rest of the season, or should I save myself the time? Yeah, I for sure would consider it depending on the matchup. I do really like the Saints defense this week, for example. I think the Niners versus the Cardinals, though, are a pretty good option also. I'm always open to streaming defenses, though, because defense is one of the most matchup-dependent things in fantasy football. Rashee Rice is a must-start, Billy. Yep. Monty or Zamir? This one's Monty pretty easily. It's got to be Monty over Zamir. Kelsey or Laporte at flex, man. I know Kelsey's been bad. I know that Kelsey's been bad. I know that he gets a tough matchup against the Pats. Still Kelsey over Laporte for me. Kenneth Walker or Jalen Warren? Yeah, I'd probably go Kenneth Walker over Jalen Warren. CH or Zamir? I'm going Zamir over CH. Ayuk or Adams? That's really close, man. I do really want to start Adams against the Chargers tonight. I think the answer, though, is Ayuk. Let's see here. It's Adams. It's Adams over Ayuk. It's a tough call for sure. I'm going Adams over Ayuk, though. He will probably get more targets. Devontae Adams or Devontae Smith. I'm going Devontae Smith over Devontae Adams. I do like Devontae Smith more than Devontae Adams. Raiders -3. I do think the Raiders win tonight. I do not think Easton Stick is good, guys. I think he's actually pretty bad. I think that's a good reason to start the Raiders defense tonight, too. I would go Antonio Gibson over Zamir White with the decent chances looking like, and Brian Robinson's not going to play. I would play Zamir White over Najee Harris, though. No thank you to Najee Harris. We're the most sluggish running backs in the league. I have the Dolphins D this week, but who should I stash for the next 2 weeks? Yeah, so there's a lot of good defenses to stash. I think the Rams team, I like stashing them. They could get the Saints next week. And then the finals, I think the Rams get the Giants. I really like stashing the Rams. They're available in a lot of leagues as well because they haven't been that great of a defense. Concerned about Amon-Ra at all in this matchup. He's been pretty disappointing as well as the rest of the lines. Yeah, I'm not that concerned about Amon-Ra. He's definitely still a must start in almost all fantasy spots. He definitely has been disappointing for sure. The target share hasn't been that bad, though. He's had at least a 24% target share every single game since week 2. He has not been under 20% target share once this entire season. The consistency volume-wise is there. The production hasn't been there for like 3 straight games, but he's still only, guys, Amon-Ra St. Brown's still only been under 12 fantasy points once this entire season. Mo, I got you, man. What was your question? Starting Mixon, Javonte Williams is my running backs, and my flex is Ty Chandler. Bench has Deontay Johnson, Nico. Yeah, this is fine. This makes sense. I'm fine going Ty Chandler over Deontay Johnson, and I don't think Nico's going to play. If Nico plays, you got to play him over Ty Chandler. I think, though, Ty Chandler plays first, and I don't think Nico's going to play. Keenan Allen is out. I don't have a bench replacement. Should I pick up Rashid Shaheed? Yeah, pick up Rashid Shaheed, Nigel. Absolutely. Rashid Shaheed's supposed to be back this week. There's still no Michael Thomas. Definitely a good option. First year subscribing. Thanks, man. All teams in the playoffs, we did it. Let's go, man. That's what I'm talking about. We got Olave or Javonte Williams, half PPR. This is a close one. I do like Olave this week a decent amount, even with Shaheed returning. I mean, his role was really locked in with Shaheed out. He actually had a kind of down game last week. Did Chris Olave. Javonte gets an interesting spot here against the Lions. The Lions have been pretty good against running backs. 7th best defense against running backs this season. The Giants have been horrible against receivers. If this is a PPR league, it's half PPR. Half PPR, you got to go Javonte. Half PPR, I almost always lean running backs. Non-PPR, it's always running backs. Half PPR, it's usually running backs. Full PPR, I think I would have gone Olave over Javonte, though. That's why the scoring settings matter. This is why the scoring settings matter. This is why the Walter Picks app is unmatched in fantasy football insights, because it accounts for your custom league settings. And so much fantasy analysis out there. One of the hardest things as a content creator is trying to account for all of your different league settings. There's so many different league settings, and non-PPR to half PPR to PPR really changes so much. I would like Javonte over Olave in half PPR and non-PPR, but not full PPR. Even though I have Kupp, should I still start Puka over Devontae full PPR? I really like the Kupp Puka double stack this week, because at least one of these guys is going over 20 points against the Commanders. And realistically, they both could clear 20 points against the Commanders. There's not really a better spot in the current state of the NFL than playing the Washington Commanders, who had the worst secondary in the NFL and then traded their 2 best pass rushers like a month ago, right at the trade deadline. And they've been even worse since then. The only fear is that the Commanders won't keep the game close enough for the Rams really to be pushed offensively, but they definitely can. They definitely can keep the game close enough to be pushed offensively for the Rams. So yeah, I'm cool with double stacking Puka and Cooper Kupp this week. I'm doing that actually a lot in my daily drafts on Sleeper this week. Zamir White or Jacoby, PPR, explain if you can. Oh gosh. Yeah, this is not an easy one here. And I think they'll probably be actually projected pretty close. Maybe Jacoby even gets the edge here in PPR. In PPR, let's see. Yeah, Zamir White just slightly gets the edge. The Chargers have been worse against receivers than running backs. That's just a fact. But Jacoby's been really tough to trust, man. He's been really, really tough to trust. 7.5 points in his last game. He had a 21% target share. Full PPR, honestly, I think I would go Jacoby. I think I would go Jacoby over Zamir White in full PPR. I think the floor is lower for Jacoby Myers than it is Zamir White. Let's see if Walter agrees with that. If I click on Jacoby here, he's got a 50. Yeah, I agree with this. I don't agree with the boom percentages here. Jacoby Myers has a 55% chance to bust. Under 10 points, 55% chance. Bet more likely that he goes under 10 than over 10. That's not great. And Zamir White has only a 40% chance to go under 10 because he's going to get at least 15 touches here. And he is probably going to get the goal line work too. So he's more likely to score a touchdown, and he's more likely to touch the ball, much more likely to touch the ball more than Jakobi Meyers tonight. But Jakobi Meyers' ceiling is higher. Jakobi Meyers' ceiling is higher in this matchup. I shoot for the ceiling just generally in life. So I think I probably would go Jakobi over White. If you want to lock in the floor, though, you probably go Zamir White. James Cook or Zay Flowers? I think it's James Cook with the weather report in Baltimore right now. We'll see. Real quick, I got you real quick. Zamir or Ford? Yeah, I would go Ford over Zamir. Lockett, Myers, or OBJ. Pick one. Yeah, I'm not going Myers there. I think I'd go Lockett. Hall, Henry, or Swift. Pick two. It's the first two. I think Hall and Henry over Swift. I'm playing Zamir over Hubbard. I'm playing Zamir over Deontay Johnson. I'm playing Ty Chandler over Zamir. I'm playing Zamir over Chuba Hubbard. Yep. I'm going Eckler over Gibbs. I'm playing Puka over Achane easily. I'm playing Zamir over Tyjae Spears pretty easily. Do you like Raiders defense tonight? I really, really like the Raiders defense tonight. I'm playing Zeke over Zamir 100,000%. Zeke will outscore Zamir White this week. Let me pull up that QB question again. Sorry, I'll pull that up in a sec. Raiders or Atlanta? Yeah, most platforms don't have Raiders high. Most platforms do not realize how bad Easton Stick is. Easton Stick is 28 years old. He was a 5th-round pick in 2019, and he had one career passing attempt before last week. He played at, what was it, North Dakota State? North Dakota State is where he played in college. He was a 5th-round pick, almost a 6th-round pick. He does have a cannon, and he does have 89th percentile speed, but that doesn't mean he's good. Flacco, Geno, Russ, or Howell? Oh, man. Let's pull this up. Let's pull the QB rankings here. I think these guys are probably relatively close together. It's Russ, then it's Howell. Yeah, this one's between Russ and Howell. Let's compare these two guys real quick. Honestly, I think I would go Russ. Howell's been better this season. I feel like Russ is going to end the season like he ended the season last year. If we go back to the end of the season last year, he had 3 games over 24 points here down the stretch. This is a really good matchup for him against the Lions. The last time we saw Russell Wilson with this good of a matchup, he scored 27 points. That was back in week 2. I think I'd go Russ over Howell. I do like that Broncos-Lions game getting out of hand and being high scoring. I'm playing Amari Cooper over Zamir White easily. I'm playing Jakobi Meyers over Demario Douglas. I do not think we can trust Douglas in his first game back this week. I'm playing Amari over Lockett. Why Zamir? Zamir's probably going to get 15 touches tonight. He's going to be playing ahead of Amir Abdullah. I do think Amir Abdullah gets the receiving work tonight, but I'm playing Zamir over Abdullah. I think Zamir White's much more likely to score a touchdown than Amir Abdullah. Okay, update. Start Josh Palmer or Shaheed. It's Shaheed. It's Shaheed, for sure. It's got to be Shaheed over Josh Palmer. I got no faith, man, in Easton Stick tonight. I don't want to sweat trying to root for Easton Stick tonight. I'm not going to do it. I would be taking the Raiders against the spread, against the money line. I would be taking all the Raiders receivers, Adams, Eckler, and even Hunter Renfrow over some of these Chargers receivers tonight. I think Eckler's a good bet to lead the Chargers in receiving. Tony Pollard over Zamir White very, very easily. I'm not saying we need to lock in Zamir White. Zamir White's a decent option if you're deciding between a guy like Zamir White and Tyjae Spears. I was in on Tyjae Spears last week. He came through. But Zamir White's probably going to get more touches. Fields or Love? I need upside, so I guess Fields. I don't know, actually, though. The upside for Love's pretty high here against the Bucs. I think I might go Love. Hey, I know you're leaving soon. Zamir or Aaron Jones? Please need to win round 1 cakewalk after. Let me pull up the latest on Aaron Jones here. I feel like Zamir versus Aaron Jones is a really tough call. I've already told a couple people in this live stream to start Zamir over Aaron Jones because I don't have very much confidence just in the current state right now with Aaron Jones. Let's see if he's been practicing. Knee limited again on Thursday. He's trending towards a return week 15 against the Bucs. Tough game, though. But A.J. Dillon has yet to practice this week. If you're going for the upside, I think you hold out hope for Aaron Jones here, especially if A.J. Dillon doesn't go and Aaron Jones plays. We could see a pretty big Aaron Jones workload. Definitely possible. He'll DNP this week. Do you think he'll play? I do think he'll play because he went back in the game. Favorite player prop tonight? Yeah, I do got you with the free player prop before we wrap up this live stream. And the free player prop, it's a gross one tonight, but I do like the value we're getting on both of his props tonight. But I got the free player prop tonight. It is Hunter Renfrow over 2.5 receptions. Hunter Renfrow has cashed this in 3 consecutive games. Hunter Renfrow has at least 2 catches in 6 of his last 7 games. This is a pretty high floor for Renfrow at a line set at 2.5 against the Chargers secondary that has been horrible this season. They've allowed multiple receivers over 2.5 receptions in basically every single game this season. I like his yards prop line too. Guys, we are 20. Let me pull up the record because it's honestly it's hard to even comprehend this accuracy on the player props this season, on these free player props, on these live streams. I've given away a free player prop on every single live stream this season, and we are 23-9 here in week 15. Every Thursday night, every Sunday morning, I've had at least one free player prop for you. We cashed last week with Rashee Rice. I do like the Rashee Rice prop lines again this week, by the way. That might end up being the free prop on Sunday morning. We will see. But tonight, I do like Hunter Renfrow against bad Charger secondary. He's been playing around half the snaps. The Chargers are going to be very keyed in on Adams and Jakobi Meyers. Hunter Renfrow getting 3 catches is very, very in the realm this tonight. And again, he's had at least 2 catches in 6 of his last 7. So I really like the floor, man. Abdullah over 1.5 receptions. Brandon, you're the man as well. I don't hate it. I think I like the Renfrow one a bit more. I do think Abdullah will be the receiving back, though, over Zamir White tonight. We have not seen Zamir White ever be used very much as a receiver. I actually think he might have 1 or 2 catches all season. Where we have seen some of the Abdullah games. Let's compare these two, actually. This will be very interesting to do before we wrap up the live stream tonight, because there's no Josh Jacobs tonight. We're going to see a ton of Zamir White and Amir Abdullah. Let's compare these two guys. We've seen Abdullah, if we compare their rushing stats here, about 1 more carry per game for Zamir White. Zamir White's been better in yards per game, but man, look at these yards per carry. I know that we're looking at a low, really small sample size here, but only 2.7 yards per carry for Zamir White. That doesn't seem super encouraging. At least Amir Abdullah has had a big run in there. And then we have receiving stats. Yeah, it's been Abdullah. He's been getting more yards per game, more receptions per game, more routes per game, not even close, 7 to 1.6. And targets per game, 1.5. And this is all with Josh Jacobs playing. So, yeah, I think Abdullah over 1.5 receptions, not bad at all. Not a bad line at all. Rashee or Ayuk? I think I'm going Rashee Rice over Ayuk. Do I play Aaron Jones over Mostert if Dylan doesn't play? It depends if Achane plays, because Achane might not play too. Sunday morning question here, but in general, if Achane plays and Dylan doesn't play, it's not that crazy to go Aaron Jones. Yo, Sam, Achane or Zeke, PPR, it's Zeke. 100% it's Zeke, and I don't even think it's close, and there's a decent chance Achane does not play this week. Chargers defense or Ravens defense? This one's close too. The Ravens are in an interesting weather game here. I think I probably would go Chargers defense, though. I like both defenses tonight. I like the Raiders defense more, though. McBride, JSN, Chris Godwin, Addison. Also, are we starting Jefferson with confidence? Yeah, you guys start him. I wouldn't say with 1,000% confidence you start him, but there is no benching Justin Jefferson. If you had a good enough season, if you grinded your way to the fantasy playoffs despite taking Justin Jefferson with the 1st or 2nd pick in your draft, man, you got to start Justin Jefferson. There's just no route to benching Jefferson. I feel similar about Cooper Kupp this week, and in retrospect, I feel like one of my biggest misses last week was telling too many people to bench Cooper Kupp. Guys, we are at the point of the season, as far away as the draft was, you got to be starting Justin Jefferson. You got to be starting Cooper Kupp. You got to be starting Tyreek Hill despite the injury reports. We got to be starting the 1st-round picks that we had so much faith in back during draft day. There's a reason we took them in the 1st round. I know it was a long time ago. A lot's changed. But yeah, you're starting Jefferson with confidence. You're starting Cooper Kupp with confidence. You're starting Tyreek Hill with confidence for sure, heading into the fantasy playoffs. McBride, JSN, Chris Godwin, Addison here. I think it's JSN here. Look at the ranking. Yeah, it's JSN over Godwin. It's JSN over Addison for sure. And I don't want to start a tight end over some of these guys. I would go JSN here. Yo, what's up, Sam? Hope you're having a great Thursday. Hope you're having a fantastic Thursday as well. Matthew, Adams, Noah Brown. Yes, Adams. You're starting Devontae Adams over Noah Brown. You're starting Devontae Adams over Jordan Addison. You're starting Devontae Adams over Odell Beckham Jr. for sure. Andrew, do not put yourself through the pain of starting Josh Palmer tonight. Josh Palmer is catching passes from Easton Stick. Easton Stick had 1 career passing attempt before last week. Last week, by the way, the only sample size we have from Easton Stick, he completed 54% of his passes. He's not good. I really don't think Easton Stick is good. He went to North Dakota State. He was a 5th-round pick. He was picked with one of the last picks in the 5th round in 2019, and he's never played. It's McLaurin here over Palmer easily. And it's McLaurin over Downs too, even though McLaurin had 0 points in his last game. I'm going Devontae Smith over Devontae Adams. I am. I would play Downs over Josh Palmer too. I want nothing to do with Josh Palmer tonight, guys. All right, standard question. ETN is questionable. Starts Zamir tonight? No, you're starting ETN over Zamir easily. And then flex ETN over Chase if he's healthy. Yeah, you're playing both these guys over Zamir. It's not even close. You got to hold out hope for ETN here. These guys are not comparable in terms of floor and ceiling, assuming ETN plays, and I do think ETN will play. You got great options here, yeah, with Cooper Kupp, Puka, and Waddle. Yeah, you got to hold out hope for ETN. And yeah, at least you have Singletary if he doesn't end up playing. How do you feel about Hawkins and Laporta combo in Superflex? I don't hate it. Like, you could do worse than the double tight end combo. I hate starting 2 tight ends just in general, but I do like both these tight ends a lot this week. I think both can do well. Tommy Cutlets or Jared Goff. Oh, gosh. Here we are, man. I would go Goff. I would go Goff over Tommy Cutlets. Hey, Sam, start 3 running backs: Kamara, ETN, Zeke, Cook, Achane. PPR, it's Zeke here for sure. And then it's Kamara for sure. And then it's ETN. You got to bench Achane. He might not even play. And you got to bench Cook as well. I'm going Goddard over Kincaid. I'm benching Kincaid in almost all spots. Chargers defense to start. Yep, Cutlets. I really do like the Raiders defense as well. I do like starting Courtland Sutton. Why is Myers a must bench? He's in a good matchup here against the Chargers, but the floor has been really low for Jacoby. I'm rooting for Jacoby big time actually tonight. He's in a bunch of my best ball leagues that have advanced to the playoffs. We have not seen a consistent floor, though, for Jacoby in quite some time. He's been under 10 points in 4 of his last 6 games. 4 of his last 6 games, he's been under 10 points. This is a good matchup for him. Best matchup he's had in a while. He did play 98% of the snaps, so he's all the way back from some of the injuries he's dealt with this season. You could do worse. Like, I would start Jacoby over Zamir White, for example, and I do like Zamir White as a decent option if you like are desperate at running back. But yeah, I'd prefer to bench Jacoby for sure tonight if I could, just because Aiden O'Connell's starting and Jacoby's gone under 10 points too many times in the last month and a half. Rashid Rice, DK Metcalf, Puka Nacua, Chris Olave, Derrick Henry, happy PR. Thank you. Start 4 here. Yeah, so you got to start Puka and Rice. Half PPR. I do want to start Derrick Henry and half PPR. I think I'd probably bench Olave or Metcalf here. I'd probably bench Metcalf and start Olave. Really close one, honestly. But yeah, I think I'd bench Metcalf. How do you feel about Hawkins? Yeah, we already talked about this one. Zach Moss, Jacoby Myers. It's Zach Moss over Jacoby Myers. Not even close. Start London or Pickens. Deontay Johnson's been dealing with an injury this week. That could matter there. If Deontay's out, I probably would go Pickens. Otherwise, I'd probably go Drake London. I'd go Myers over Deontay, yeah. It's a tough spot to be in, but it's Myers over Deontay for sure. I'm playing Moss over basically everybody. Again, I'm playing Moss over, not over Zeke. I'm playing Zeke over Moss. Moss has the same matchup that Zeke had last week, though, when Zeke was RB1. I would play Moss over Sutton. I would play Jalen Waddle and Ty Chandler over Zamir White. I'm seeing that one. I play Jalen Waddle over both those guys, though, for sure. Guys, that is my time. I am playing Ty Chandler over Zamir White. Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you guys. Guys, this week is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be live Saturday morning before the Saturday games. We got 3 Saturday games. So be head on a swivel this week. Be prepared. We got 3 games on Saturday. And I'll also be live briefly on Sunday morning, but it'll be shorter Sunday morning live this week because I'm going to the Patriots-Chiefs game. So I'm going to be live Saturday morning. I'm going to be live briefly Sunday morning. So we're going to get locked in for the Fantasy Playoff Start-Sits later this week, but I will be live twice to make sure we get the same amount of live stream time in for the Fantasy Playoffs. You can't sync NFL Fantasy, but we are working on it, Josh. We are working on it. You still can use the Start-Sit tool, though. If you go to the Start-Sit tool, you can do any of the comparisons you want to. It's a little bit more manual, I know. Not quite as good. We are working on NFL Fantasy League Sync, though, for next season. Not going to happen this season, though. Guys, shout out to everyone that's live. Time is the most valuable thing we have. Thanks for spending some time with me tonight. Good luck tonight, everybody. Enjoy the banger of a game tonight. I'll see you Saturday morning. Have a good one, guys.